Article 211. Indirect bribery. Number 1, offender, public officer. Number 2, he accepts gifts. And number 3, gifts offered to him by reason of his office. Direct bribery. Both crimes, public officer. Existing of agreement, present necessity of number 1, agrees to perform act. Number 2, perform acts, refrain doing. Article 211A, qualifying bribery. Number 1, offender, public officer or entrusted with the law enforcement. Number 2, offender refrains from arresting or prosecuting offender who has committed crime punishable by reclusion perpetua. And number 3, offender refrains from arresting or prosecuting the offender in the consideration of any promote, gift, or present. Article 212, corruption of public officials. Number 1, offender offers or promises or give gifts or present to a public officer. And number 2, officers or promise made or gift or presents given to public officer under circumstances that will make public officer liable for direct bribery or indirect bribery. Public officer backs out, not liable. So bribery. Article 217, malversation of public funds or property, presumption by malversation embezzlement, also called malversation, acts punishable in malversation. Number 1, by appropriating public funds or property. Number 2, by taking or Number 3, by consisting or through abandon or the permission of any other person to take such public funds, property. And by number 4, by being otherwise guilty, misappropriation or malversation such funds or property. Elements common to all acts malversation. Number 1, offender, public officer. Number 2, under his custody or control funds or property by reason of the duties of his office. Number 3, funds properly public or property for which he was accountable. Number 4, constitute taking misapplication. Article 224, evasion through negligence. Offender, public officer, under his charge, conveyance or custody. And number 3, prisoner escapes through his negligence. Liability escaping prisoner. Number 1, convict by reason of final judgment. And Article 157, manner of maltreatment. Article 245, abuse against chastity. Offender, public officer. Number 2, he solicits or makes immoral or indecent advantages to woman. And number 3, woman must be interested with matters feeding. Letter B, under custody of the offender who is warden or public offender. Letter C, wife, daughter, sister, or relatives within the same degree by person custody of the offender. Other crimes committed by public officer. Article 204, knowing rendering unjust judgment. Article 205, judgment rendered through negligence. Article 206, unjust interlocutory order. Article 207, malicious delay in the administration of justice. Number 5, Article 209, betrayal of trust by an attorney or solicitor. Article 213, frauds against the public treasury and similar offenses. Article 214, other frauds. Article 215, prohibited transaction. Article 216, possession of the prohibited interest by public officer. Article 218, failure of accountable officer to render accounts. Article 236, interpretation of duties in public office. Article 237, prolonging performance of duties, powers. Article 238, abandonment of office or position. Article 239, assumption of legislative powers. Article 241, assumption of judicial function. Article 242, disobeying requests for disqualification. Article 243, orders or requests by executing officer to any judicial authority. And the last is the Article 244, unlawful appointments.